Hello, friends. We do a lot of talking about praying in our lives, on this channel, in church, and what happens with those prayers once they're answered. Not a lot of us follow up with them, and that's a huge part of the prayer process and our relationship with God. We need to do what my friend Tony Walsh on R&W Farmstead calls a praise report. And you may be familiar with this term, and you may be familiar with his channel. If you're not, please check him out. I'll include him in the link below as a pinned comment. But we go to God a lot for prayer, and God listens to our prayers. He answers them in his timeline and in his way, but God hears our prayers, but we don't always communicate the thank you to God when he answers them. And that to me is a huge part of the prayer process that sometimes gets left out. Hi everyone, I'm Jen. Welcome to my channel. And today I'd like to start with my own praise report. I recently just went over 4,000 subscribers, and that's a huge number for me. I honestly, when I started this channel, had unrealistic expectations of what YouTube was all about. And then once I got into it, I realized how challenging of a format this is in terms of social media, especially considering the topic that this channel focuses on mostly, since it's a Christian channel. And once you narrow yourself down into different parts of YouTube, getting subscribers consistently that stay sometimes can be a challenge. And I'm truly, truly grateful for all 4,000 plus of you that have subscribed and stayed. And if you're new here, welcome. And even if you're not subscribed, welcome. I ask that you consider subscribing. It's free. But either way, I am so, so thankful for this huge milestone. And I just want to take a moment to thank God, because this is something that I have been praying about for a really long time. So that's one of my praise reports. And with this huge number being hit, this is the last video out of 3 that would allow you to enter our contest for a Bible giveaway. And it is almost the end of May, so we will set this contest to happen on my birthday, which is actually June 7th. So there's this video, there's a live, and there's an ASMR video, all of which will allow you 1 entry per comment on those videos. So each video, if you comment on each one, you'll have 3 entries into the contest, just to be clear. So I will include all of those videos names in the pinned comment for this video. So feel free, if you'd like an extra entry and you'd like to see more of what I do on this channel, feel free to watch those, make a nice comment, and you'll get an extra entry into the Bible giveaway. So about praise reports, those are an opportunity for us to go back to God in prayer and say, thank you. I like to start my prayer sessions, at least my longer ones. Sometimes I pray to God in the moment if I'm stressed, angry. But in my regular prayer sessions, I always like to start by thanking God. And I do so for the things that I have, such as my family, my home, my job, my pets, friends, things like that. And then at the end, I also like to thank God for just being God and for everything that he does for me. Gets me up every day, keeps me going, keeps me motivated, gets me through difficult times. And those, in a way, are their own praise reports. But when I pray for others or I pray for myself, I try to keep track of the things that I pray to God about. And when those things come to fruition, for example, hitting 4,000 plus subscribers on YouTube, I like to make sure that I go back and take the time to thank God. So how do we do this? How do we keep track of our prayers? Well, if it's a personal prayer, probably you're pretty familiar and you're going to keep track. But what if you're someone like me that prays for others? I offer a weekly prayer offering. I don't always hear back from people, but I do keep track of everyone that I pray for. I actually have a notebook that I keep anyone who comments on that weekly prayer video or anyone who's reached out via email or privately in relationship to my channel. I keep a just first name and first initial their last name if I even know it, and then what their praise request is. And if they don't give me a specific praise request, I just pray for them in general. So that's how I keep track. And if I would happen to hear from anybody to tell me, hey, I'd asked for you to pray for my health and I'm doing a lot better, thank you, then that goes on to, I will be thanking God for that prayer to be answered. And as far as in my personal life away from YouTube, if someone reaches out to me for prayer, I either put it in my notebook or I use a mobile app. And I know it's available on Android. I'm not sure if it's available on Apple, but it's called Mobile Knee, and I'll include that in this in the pinned comment below. But it's a super easy app. It allows you to put the prayer request. So I usually put the person's name in there, and then it has a notes part below that where you can put in specifics. So if someone comes and says to me, hey, my mom's not doing well, would you pray for them? And I'll put that person's name and then that their mother needs prayer. And then there's a place in there to follow up on that prayer. So you can put notes in there about how many times you've prayed for it. And then if that prayer gets answered, when it gets answered, not if, but when it gets answered, you can put that in there as well. And then that's the time that I will take to go back to God and thank him for answering that prayer. So praise reports, as Tony says, or, just going back to God and thanking him for answering prayers is not a complex process, but it's part of the prayer process that I think makes it complete. So you go to God with a prayer. God hears your prayer. God answers it in his own time. And then we, as the receivers of that prayer, even if it's not for us, we still prayed it. So if I'm praying for a friend or a friend's parent that's ill, I still pray to God. It's still part of my prayer life because as we know, a single voice in prayer is very strong. Multiple voices in prayer is unbelievably strong. So I am part of that prayer now. And so I need to thank God when that prayer is answered. However it's answered, even if it's not an answer that we necessarily want, sometimes our prayers get answered differently than how we go to God, but there's a reason for that. So, but point is that we need to be thanking God, not just for everything that he does for us, which is a lot. I mean, he does everything for us. He's given us our lives. He's given us everything that's good in our lives. He's given us the challenges in our lives to help us grow as people. But we also need to thank him for every answered prayer, because he does amazing things, and without him, those prayers wouldn't be answered. So we need to take the time to thank him. So again, thank you, all of you who have watched videos on this channel, liked, comment, hopefully subscribed, and stayed as subscribers. I'm truly grateful for all 4,000 plus of you. And if you have a prayer request, feel free to comment on this video, reach out to me via email, or make a comment on my weekly prayer requests. They go up on Sunday afternoons. Thank you so much for joining me. I really and truly appreciate your support. Have a wonderful and blessed day, and know that God loves you no matter what.